Drew K., what free agents do the Red Wings keep? And that's a different way of addressing, what the Red Wings situation is, because it comes down to a simple question, D-Mac. Now that the dust has kind of settled and we're locked in and we took a look at them financially, they're in pretty good shape, especially, assuming that they can get to work on Mo Seider and Lucas Raymond. What's the biggest need? And I understand that it's a loaded question because of what you and I discussed. The evidence, the proof, the goaltending situation will be ran back next year. It just will be. And I think Yzerman
seems that way. The writing's on the wall.
The writing's on the wall.
Right.
Best way to put it. And the reason I say that, D-Mac, is because Spencer Raxter's our resident farm system prospect insider. I just make him that.
Which, by the way, his guy Jonathan Bergen last night, shootout winner in Iowa for the Grand Rapids Griffins, getting ready to come down. Eyeballed the whole crowd on the skate off. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Silky Johnson, my sister almost bought an El Mago jersey over the weekend. She doesn't know. RM Dole 19, am I the only one considering getting a Hooker jersey? Yes, you are. All right, but D-Mac, again, I think on surface when you ask the people that what's the biggest need, they're going to say goaltending or defense. But the goaltending thing, I honestly believe, is just going to be ran back until Kosa comes up. Because why? Because to get a goalie, a difference-maker goalie, D-Mac, it will take a significant prospect/draft capital investment. That's just the way that it works. There's only, 8 of them in the NHL?
Yeah.
And they're not made available.
Right.
So if I would tell you goaltending's the biggest need, D-Mac, I would then also say, I say that all fully knowing that that's not going to be
goaltending's a dividend right now because you have the 2 guys that are your future, you're looking to your future, aren't ready yet, and they're probably another year away. So with the contracts and the way that Steve Yzerman's set it up with Billy Husso and Alex Lyon and stuff like that, that's why we say the writing is on the wall. We know it's an imperative need, but it's not going to be addressed unless he goes out and makes a deal. So to me, it's like there's a couple ways. Obviously defense, right? But that's just as hard as goaltending at times because people don't give away those prime defensemen. You also look in your farm system that you got guys, whether they're in Sweden or in the AHL, and the same as your goaltending, that are coming up and not ready yet. So my big thing is obviously you got to address the Raymond and the Seider. I think Patrick Kane, that conversation is a priority because, and I think at his age, the fact that he chose to be here, the fact that it worked out, I think that he wants to see this through. That's my vibe on it. But this is what I think. And that's why, like, with what they're going to do, let's wait and watch the playoffs. Because what always happens in the playoffs, there's always that guy, that line, those players that are that second tier that step up, right? And those are the guys to see if they're available, that those are the guys you either go make a deal for in the last year of their contract to give them a big contract or go get them as a free agent. So I think, but to me, I think it's that 1C. I think it's that, like, that firepower.
Which, which is along the lines of the goalie situation, though. They're not available.
But they do see
until they are,
like Sam Reinhart, like in Florida, right? Like, and a lot of these guys, what you hope for is look at other teams that have a couple guys coming up and they have to make a decision. Hence the Hossa Franzen situation. So do teams have to make those decisions where so to be a few days from the end of the season and NHL playoffs start already, that if you would say to me, we know what we need, but it's just, that's why playoffs are next year, whether the young kids are in or not, but it's like one more year of development and then it's sort of go time. But I'm looking at how I can add more firepower.
Also Tactile Puma. And look, like, I know that we had our differences kind of coming down the stretch and talking about collapse and stuff like that. But we're all here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in the off season now. So I think it's a good spot to kind of read. What's that?
Can I address this?
Sure. What do you got?
Gromit. D-Mac can't badmouth his bestest buddy.
Uh-oh.
I'll hold Steve Yzerman accountable when it deserves it. But you obviously, like, and I have to realize this, like, sometimes you guys aren't mentally capable to understand, because I'm looking at progress. I'm looking at the big picture. I collect cups. I only care about cups. I don't care about making playoffs, right? I care about winning. I think it's a blessing in disguise for this team, the way that they know that it came down to that they held themselves accountable all summer. I've been here. I've been here before where you fuck up, right? And you know it's on you. And your core is coming back. So that eats at you for the whole season and stuff like that. Like, if Steve Yzerman deserves, in my opinion, to be questioned, then he can. We said that yesterday. You're not going to hit on every contract, right? The Justin Hall, you're gonna sit here, or you're gonna move forward and see what he's gonna do, because that's what he's gonna do. So, I mean, I don't say what you want, but you don't, like, when you guys say stuff like that, you don't understand where I'm coming from. I'm just trying to paint the picture of where we're going. I don't care, and what happened to here. We're going to address it. But the accountability is that, and if he doesn't, what did I say? If they don't make the playoffs next year,
epic failure. It's a failure.
Epic, absolute failure. But I think that next year's when they get back in the playoffs, and we build and we continue to grow and be one of these teams. We don't want to be Washington. We don't want to go in there and be handed to the Wolves. We want to have a fighting chance. And I think with the next year, that's where it is.
What do you got, Spenny?
I was just going to say, like, the whole Yzerman didn't do enough. What else do you want him to do? He traded for DeBrincat. He signed you Patrick Kane. He got you signings like Sprong, Confer, Lyon, guys that played big roles and big factors on this team. You bring up, I don't know, your two of your four best players on this team are draft picks of his in Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider. You bring up Simon Evanson that made a big difference, who is another draft pick of his. Like, are you mad that he didn't mortgage his whole farm system for a guy at the trade deadline just to make the playoffs? That's on you, because that's not what Yzerman's going to do. He's not worried about making the playoffs. He's worried about getting deep runs in the playoffs. So he's not going to trade away the guys he drafted that have proven to be good when they get to the NHL for one guy. Like, Gensel, did you want Gensel? They gave up a first-round pick, 4 prospects. And so, like, he's not going to do that for a rental player to just make the playoffs. I understand we're upset that we didn't make the playoffs, but they're building something. And the additions that he's made to this team, outside of maybe Hall and Petrie, have been great. And so you want to knock him on those two, but not look at the 6 or 7 that he made that benefited this team? That's on you.
And there's tangible proof. Again, I got in the mix with somebody on social media, and all I do now, I have a default response that I want to program, and it's the picture of the 2019-2020 salary cap table. And that's what he walked into, man, with no prospects in the system. And I don't give a shit how pissed you are or anything like that. The bottom line, and you can't defeat this statement, there has been progress every step of the way. So what logic, what reason do you have to suggest that that's all just going to go away? There's none. There's none. And that's why it's different. Like, if you want to be upset with the Pistons, I can't fault you on that, right?
Yeah.
Because there hasn't been that progress that everybody expected. There hasn't been. So, like, for me, the Yzerman is the one you can't question. You can't. If this were the NFL and the way the draft works, then they would be on a trajectory like the Lions are. But the difference is you're taking an 18-year-old kid that won't be here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, Sider and Raymond, like, just arrived. Like, we think Lucas Raymond just arrived this last couple months. That's the way it works. So, again, and as far as this, like, Paul Thomas says goaltending and coach. You want to talk about the coaching? My gut says that they're gonna ride. It's Yzerman's guy.
Yeah.
And I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because he's shown me progress in every form, every fashion since he's taken the job. And if that makes you upset, then I can't help you. And if you come here looking for a hot take of, well, he's on the hot seat now, you're not getting it from me, dude, because I don't do that bullshit. I talk to you guys like people. I talk to you guys like I talk to my friends, like I'm sitting on a bar stool. I know it's probably not the best thing for the job industry, and it doesn't like get me 1.1 million clicks like if I sit here and trash Angel Hernandez, because it did and it does. But I'm just being real with you guys, man. They pay me here to tell you what I think. I'm around sports. This is what I think. And I've got logic and reason to back it up. I know that's not good enough for some of you, but, you know, whatever, that's what it is. We got one more Red Wings thing to get to, then we're moving on, all right? I want to have the Cider and the Raymond discussion.
I don't get, like, maybe it's me, but like Mark Royal, like, we all are disappointed in the fact that we all wanted to make the playoffs, but the fact is that we're here and we came up short. So now what do we do? And instead of we're making excuses and no, these are the facts, that it's progress and it takes time. It's not the NFL.
Yeah.
Where it's the quick turnover. It takes time to be able to do it well. Does anybody not listen when Steve Yzerman comes out and says, Easy had a great tweet yesterday, right? The fact that Steve Yzerman said, we're not ready. It's building and building because it's a foundation to get back. Yeah. Is anybody here not disappointed it didn't make the playoffs where it is?
Yeah. We all
right?
are.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world. If you guys act like this right now and not making the playoffs, God forbid when you lose in the playoffs, what it's going to be like. And I can't help you because, you know, some of you in here, hey, it's the reality to me. Tell me you're a casual without telling me you're a casual. I get it. So it doesn't really matter because I guess I'm not talking to them, or we're not talking to them, Neil. We're trying to talk to the fans that understand and are disappointed, and it sucks. What are we going to go from here? How is Steve Yzerman going to continue to climb that ladder?
And I'm just trying to tell you based on, you know, the pages that are out there, kind of read the tea leaves a little bit, how I think it's going to go. I don't think they're going to make a goaltending move. And that's going to piss a lot of people off.
They can't.
But what are they going to do?
What's the goaltending move to make?
I know.
Here, trade Raymond and somebody else and somebody else to go get what?
Trade Raymond and Kosa, because that's what it's going to take. Like, think about that, guys.